So you've been told that you need to set up authentication for your email systems, but how do you actually do it? Well, in this video, I'm going to go through setting it up for ActiveCampaign. So let's get into the video. Hi, my name is Jason Kruger, and I'm your Tech Simple marketing coach. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the DKIM records and the SPF records in ActiveCampaign for your domain. Now, you will need to do this for authentication, so it helps with email deliverability for Google and for Yahoo, as they are now implementing those changes that everyone's been talking about on the 1st of February. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And we're going to do that by looking at my screen and showing you my ActiveCampaign account. Now, this is an account that I do use for testing. It is not my main account, and I'm not going to be using my main email account or domain. So you don't need to worry about seeing these records, etc. As I'm not going to be using them. I will delete them afterwards. So when you log into your ActiveCampaign account, you will not need to go to the cog and go to advanced, and then you'll get to this screen here where it says email deliverability. Now, if it hasn't been set up already, you will have this kind of marked. What we want to do is to click on this one. So it says that I will manage my own email authentication. And then what we need to do is set up the domain keys. Now, at the moment, these are the ones that I had already set up. So if you put in your domain here, check DNS, what it will do is it will go in here and create these records for you. So these are the DKIM records. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set this up in Cloudflare. This is what's controlling the domain that I'm using for this video. So I'm going to go in there, but sometimes these options might be slightly different depending on where your domain has been registered and how they've set up the DNS there. But ultimately, it's going to be in the same areas. So what we're going to do is we need to set up some CNAME records in our DNS settings. So once you get these settings, all you need to do is click on copy to clipboard, and it will copy this first part of the record where it says name. And I'm now going to go to my Cloudflare account, and I'm going to go to records. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new record. So I'm going to just say add record, and I want to make sure that this is changed to CNAME. Now, it might be slightly different look wherever you have to do this, but what you want to do is you want to set up some CNAME records. So making sure that this is set to CNAME. Then it's got this first bit, which is the name, and this is where I'm going to paste that first bit in. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to copy this second bit, the value, to the clipboard. I'm going to go back and click on in this box here where it says target, and I'm going to paste that in. And because I'm in Cloudflare, they have this where it can be proxied. I don't want that. I'm just going to switch that off. The TTL, I'm just going to leave it as auto. And then I'm going to click on save. Now, sometimes if you're setting this up in another setting, the TTL might not be this. I think the default is 3600, which you can just put in there. Now, I just need to do that same thing for this second one. So again, just copy that, go in here, add a record. Make sure it's set to CNAME. Put this first bit in here, click in here, get this the value, paste that in there, and save that. Now this is now setting up the DKIM record, so that will have been set up. Sometimes these DNS changes can take up to 48 hours before it's picked up across the internet. So once I've done that, the other thing that we can set up here is the SPF, so the Sender Policy Framework. And again, we'll need to put in our domain in here. So I'm going to do that this time. and I'm going to say generate. Now what you'll see here is that it's given me these records, and this is a text record. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to Cloudflare again. I'm going to say add another record. This time I'm going to change it to text. And where it says name, if I go back to ActiveCampaign, it's just techsimple.digital. So that means it's just the full domain. Now, when you put this in, you don't necessarily need to put in that in here. It's telling me that I can use @ for the root. So that's what I'm going to do here. But in your own registrar, sometimes they might ask you to put that whole lot in. So you might just have to put your whole your whole domain as it's in here. Now the next value is the SPF record. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste that in. Now, this is where you've got to be very careful, because you can actually invalidate the whole SPF record, because you're only supposed to have one. So if I look at this list here, at the moment, I don't have any. But if you are doing this for multiple email systems, so, if you're using ActiveCampaign for your marketing system, but then you're also using something like Google Workspace or Microsoft 365, they will have an SPF record as well. Now, it will look very similar to this. Now, when you are adding SPF records for multiple systems, again, you just want to have one SPF record. What you need to just do is where it says here, include, you will have that on the other SPF records for Google or Microsoft 365 or one of the other systems that you might be using. So you just need to copy this bit here that says includes, and then just paste it in, and leave that space over there, so that you'll have include this bit here for ActiveCampaign, and then it might be include again here, but it will be the Microsoft record or Google or what are the other systems in there, so that you might have multiple includes in here. Again, you don't want to have too many of these, because again, if you've got too many kind of lookups, it could fail as well. But generally, you're not going to have multiple systems. You might have 2, possibly 3, and you can just add those in here. Once you've done that, click on save, and now you can see that that is now being added. Once I've done all of that, all I want to do here in ActiveCampaign is click on Save Settings, and that's now all saved. And you will start noticing that difference, because if you send an email to yourself or to your recipients through ActiveCampaign, normally it would have the email address that it's come from, and it'll say on behalf of Jason Kruger, for instance. But once this has all been set up, it should then just start looking like just your normal email address, and you won't have all of that. That's one way just to see if this is working. So I hope this has been useful and how to set this up for yourself. There is a lot of other things that you need to look at, like a DMARC record as well, and I will post another video. So just look up here in the cards. There should be a link there to another video on how to set up a DMARC record for your account as well. I'll see you on the next one.